तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. We are studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the conversations of 4th June 1883. It was a Monday. And Master Masha has mentioned that from Sunday he has been staying in Dakshineshwar. Because it is the month of June, most probably the school might have summer vacation. And taking that advantage, M has come to stay for some days in Dakshineshwar. And that is why he is able to report day by day happenings. So 2nd June we had seen, then 3rd June was not there, 4th June we saw, and now 5th June. So almost day by day, M has been able to tell us, report us that everything happening in Dakshineshwar. 2nd June, and then 4th June. Yes. 4th June, before that, the 3rd June is not there. 4th June, now we are toward the end. And we read up to the fact is all men may look alike from the outside, but some of them have feelings of condensed milk. Cakes may have feelings of condensed milk or powdered black grams, but they all look alike from the outside. The desire to know God, ecstatic love of Him, and such other spiritual qualities are the condensed milk. Now we proceed. Sri Ramakrishna spoke reassuringly to the devotees. This is Master's comment that devotees are often think badly about themselves and get depressed. So somebody has to, some authoritative person has to assure them. That is the first thing in life, to be assured of the future. And then we can walk correctly on the path. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna is assuring them. Master to M, he is speaking to M, but M has already said that is assuring the devotees. Because M also sometimes used to think like that. Some think, oh, I am a bound soul. I shall never acquire knowledge and devotion. But if one receives the Guru's grace, one has nothing to fear. So that talk was already like that. Guru's grace or God's grace, nothing has to be feared. Example, once a tigress attacked a flock of goats. As she sprung on her, oh, this is how the Guru graces, This is a story from Vedanta. Once a tigress attacked a flock of goats. As she sprang on her prey, she gave birth to a cub and died. The cub grew up in the company of the goats. The goats ate grass and the cub followed their example. They bleated, the cub bleated too. Gradually, it grew to be a big tiger. One day, another tiger attacked the same flock. It was amazed to see the grass eating tiger. Running after it, the wild tiger at last seized it, whereupon the grass eating tiger began to bleat. The wild tiger dragged it to the water and said, "Look at your face in the water. It is just like mine. Here is a little meat. Eat it." Saying this, it thrust some meat into its mouth. But the grass eating tiger could not swallow it and began to bleat again. Gradually, however, it got the taste for blood and came to relish the meat. That means nature has reasserted by Guru's grace, though he was resisting. Then the wild tiger said, "Now you see, there is no difference between you and me. Come along and follow me into the forest." So that is our dwelling place, not this along with the bleating goats. So that story shows how, in spite of the resistance from the devotee, simply because of his wrong association, he has no idea that what is his real nature, but the wild tiger knows that it is due to association he has forgotten his real nature. And so, somehow or other by force, he shows him his real nature and takes him to be like him, one of his, and he takes him to the forest. That is the Brahmagyanam forest. So, there can be no fear if the Guru's grace descends on one. He will let you know who you are and what your real nature is. If the devotee practices spiritual discipline a little, the Guru explains everything to him. So, rider, that you should do as per your strength. But the remaining thing, Guru will see. But you have to do whatever you can. Then the disciple understands for himself what is real and what is unreal. So, what the Guru explains? This Thakur's constant theme. Householders, ladies, gentlemen, children, old people, sannyasis, Thakur's constant theme is about the reality, unreality of the world. God alone is real, everything else is unreal. The Thakur goes on repeating every time. So that is the very root of spirituality. Then the disciple understands for himself what is real and what is unreal. God alone is real and the world is illusory. Example. One night a fisherman went into a garden and cast his net into the lake in order to steal some fish. Night. The owner heard him and surrounded him with his servants. They brought lighted torches and began to search for him. In the meantime, the fisherman smeared his body with ashes and sat under a tree, pretending to be a holy man. The owner and his men searched a great deal but could not find the thief. All they saw was a holy man covered with ashes, meditating under a tree. The next day, the news spread in the neighborhood that a great sage was staying in the garden. People gathered there and saluted him with offerings of fruit, flowers, and sweets. Many also offered silver and copper coins. Copper coins, paisas. Silver coins, rupees. How strange, thought the fisherman. I am not a genuine holy man, and still people show such devotion to me. I shall certainly realize God if I become a true sadhu. So, that is a different type. Huh? There was some good sanskaras in him. Otherwise, people will say, oh, people are easily misled. I will go on pretending like that without working. So, this is a opposite reaction. He had some sanskaras and he saw that though he is pretending, people are loving him, respecting him. So, if I become real sadhu, I will surely get God. By pretending, if I get respect, by actually becoming sadhu, I will get God itself. There is no doubt about it. So, this disciple has to do something. If a mere pretense of religious life can bring such spiritual awakening in that sadhu, you can imagine the effect of real sadhana. So if you do as Shastras have prescribed for you, then you will have real growth. In that state, you will surely realize what is real and what is unreal. So that theme comes back again and again. God alone is real and the world is illusory. Repeated second time within no time. One of the devotees said to himself, must be Master Master, he is not giving his name. Is the world unreal then? The fisherman, to be sure, renounced worldly life. What then will happen to those who live in the world? Must they too renounce it? Sri Ramakrishna, who could see into a man's innermost thought, said very tenderly, suppose an office clerk has been sent to jail. He undoubtedly leads a prisoner's life there. But when he is released from jail, does he cut capers in the street? He does not go and dance. Not at all. He gets a job as a clerk again and goes on working as before. So outer form is not changed. Even after attaining knowledge through the Guru's grace, one can very well live in the world as a Jivan-Mukta. Thus did Sri Ramakrishna reassure those who were living as householders. So it started by Master telling, reassuring the householders, and he has completed that story. Manilal, now that Brahma devotee was there. Sir, where shall I meditate on another topic starts here? Huh? Manilal, sir, where shall I meditate on God when I perform my daily worship? So the location where God can be experienced, the location where one should meditate. Master, why? The heart is a splendid place. Meditate on God there. In Bengali, the expression is Danka Mara Jayega. That means by beating drums, we can tell that that is the best place. We have discussed this sometime, but it is a very, very important subject of our life, in spiritual life. I have met many people, even the so-called great people, so-called sadhakas, with lot of misconceptions. First misconception, in the Yoga Shastra, lotuses and chakras are described, subtle lotuses and chakras are described in the spinal cord, which is to the right of our heart. So some people say we have to meditate on the spinal cord, heart in the spinal cord. Because it is on the right of our actual chest, some people say that spiritual heart is on the right side. And in spite of the description of the space in the heart, some great people giving discourses and all that say that we should meditate on here, on the Bhrumadhya, in between the eyebrows. In the Gita, this topic is there that we should bring our eyes to the middle of the eyebrows. That means the eyes are open, but we are not seeing anything outside. And Shankar comments on it. What is meant is that our eyesight should be there. It does not mean the mind should concentrate there. So clearly he tells. And some people quote Totapuri to Thakur. When Thakur said that mind is not becoming formless, Totapuri pierced this place with some glass and told Thakur, if you bring your mind here, your formlessness will come. But nowhere it is written Thakur did like that. What Thakur did, again he tried, again he faced Divine Mother, and then he says, I imagined my knowledge as the sword and cut that dear Divine Mother into two. That means I, the experiencer, has been cut. Divine Mother means the cosmic I. And when that is removed, he said, my mind had nothing to stop it and it went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So, that does not mean that anybody and everybody should meditate there. So many illustrations are there, and here is Sri Ramakrishna telling that heart is the sure place you can proclaim with the beat of a drum. Manilal, a member of the Brahma Samaj, believed in a formless God. Addressing the master said, Kabir used to say, God with form is my mother, the formless God my father. Whom should I blame? Whom should I adore? So, that is what Kabir said. About Kabir, there is a lot of misconception that he preached only formless God. But this is what Kabir said. The two sides of the scales are even, that is Kabir says. During the daytime, Haladhari used to meditate on God with form, and at night on the formless God. So this Master Masha is describing about his cousin, Haladhari. Whichever attitude you adopt, you will certainly realize God if you have firm faith. So Thakur said, if you have firm faith, you can go either way. You may believe in God with form or in God without form, but your faith must be sincere and wholehearted. Nothing else there. Shambhu Malik used to come on foot from Bagh Bazar to his garden house at Dakshineshwar. Bagh Bazar is a far away area in Calcutta, and Dakshineshwar is much north of it. And Shambhu was a very rich man. He might have had his own carriage, etc. But he used to walk down from Bagh Bazar to the house he had built in a garden-like place near Dakshineshwar garden. One day a friend said to him, it is risky to walk such a long distance. Why don't you come in a carriage? At that, Shambhu's face turned red. That means his fundamental faith was touched. And he exclaimed, I set out, repeating the name of God. What danger can befall me? So, firm faith. Through faith alone, one attains everything. I used to say, I shall take all this to be true if I meet a certain person or if a certain officer of the temple garden talks to me. So Thakur is to hold something physical to verify that whether he experiences etc. are true or not. At random. If so and so comes to me, actually to meet me, I will believe that my experiences are true. So setting up a criteria himself and satisfying himself. M. had studied English logic. In the chapters on fallacies, wrong logic, he had read that only superstitious people believe in the coincidence of morning dreams with actual events. So the topic of dreams has come. We have to talk a lot here. And there is a common superstition, if you may like to call it, in India at least, that at the time of getting up, if somebody dreams, then it will come true. And this, Master Maharshya thinks, is a logically false. Therefore, he asked the Master, was there never any exception? So, is it a coincidence or it is actual association? Master, no, at that time everything happened that way. So, he has put a rider at that time. When I asked God something, then he gave this type of reply. So without going into every time, he said that at that time, everything happened that way. Whatever I thought, it came about. I would repeat the name of God and believe that a certain thing would happen and it would invariably come to pass to Manilal. But you must remember, unless one is guileless and broad-minded, one cannot have such faith. So he saw that Manilal is not having, M is not having faith. So he addressed Manilal and said that if you are guileless, if you are simple, then only you can have this faith. So superstition, so-called, is not easy. It is a result of some lives of tapasya. Now explain some external symbols. One can example oneself on that. Bony people some external symptoms. Bony people, the hollow-eyed, the cross-eyed, people with physical traits like those cannot easily acquire faith. They cannot acquire faith. What can a man do if there are evil omens on all sides? It was dusk. So this is a small conversation. It was dusk. The maid servant entered the room and burned incense. That is fixed duty of people. Manilal and some other devotees left for Calcutta. M and Rakhal were in the room. The master was seated on his small couch, absorbed in meditation on the Divine Mother. There was complete silence. So all the stages of Jnanam we are seeing in Thakur. After a time, another, Bhagavati, an old maidservant of the temple proprietor, entered the room and saluted the master from a distance. Now, there are two reasons. She was not had good character previously, and being a maidservant, she must have belonged to lower caste. So, lower caste should not go very near the man of higher upper caste. One reason. Secondly, she might have been afraid of the evil thing she has done, and so she does not approach. She is an old maid servant of the proprietor of the temple. Entered the room and saluted the master from a distance. Sri Ramakrishna is not telling, salute me from such a distance. Anyway, Sri Ramakrishna made her sit down. He did not invite her also. The master had known her for many years. In her younger days, she had lived a rather immoral life. But the master's compassion were great. Soon he began to converse with her. That is, she has done some sadhana, Thakur will appreciate that much. It will not mean that Thakur supports everything of her, but some good thing she has done and Thakur will appreciate that. Master, now you are pretty old. Have you been feeding the Vaishnavas and holy men and thus spending your money in a noble way? So money you have had, becoming old, now do you serve the monks or older men? Bhagavati smiling. How can I say that? Master, have you been to Vrindavan, Benares, and the other holy places? So he specifically asks her. Bhagavati, shrinkingly, how can I say that I have built a bathing place and my name is inscribed there on a slab? So I have done some good work. Master, indeed? Bhagavati, yes, sir. My name, Srimati Bhagavati Dasi, is written there on those stones. So the devotees will cross it and the dust of their feet will fall on it, and thus she will gain spirituality. Master with a smile. How nice. Now she is encouraged. Emboldened by the master's words, Bhagavati approached and saluted him, touching his feet. Now he does not deny in the ordinary way, I am a great man, I am Brahmin, no. But his life is a barometer. He has converted his whole body, mind, and soul as indicators of spirituality or nothing. And there, this does not tally or fit. Saluted him, touching his feet. like a man strung by a scorpion. Sri Ramakrishna stood up and cried out, Govinda, Govinda. So, in a natural way, if any unholy thing touches God's feet, or Sri Ramakrishna like barometer, then the reaction is terrible. Thakur is not consciously telling her you are bad, but Thakur is encouraging her, and she becomes encouraged and touches him, and then this reaction appears. Then Thakur says, Govinda, Govinda, to counteract that evil effect. A big jar of Ganges water stood in a corner of the room. He hurried there, panting, and washed with the holy water the spot where the maid servant had touched. The devotees in the room were amazed to see this incident. They perhaps did not know about Bhagavati, or such a thing can happen. And in Thakur, every spiritual experience has become palpable. Bhagavati sat as if struck dead, so much ashamed. Sri Ramakrishna consoled her and said in a very kindly tone, so that is not what Sri Ramakrishna was expecting. That is not what he wanted to happen. Because first thing is you have to reassure, we have seen from before. He has to reassure, and then those can progress by God's grace. Sri Ramakrishna consoled her and said in a very kindly tone, you shall salute me from a distance. In order to relieve her mind of all embarrassment, the master said tenderly, listen to a few songs. So for the reassurance and counteracting that reaction, he became very tender. And said tenderly, learn in a few songs. What cannot be conveyed in prose is better conveyed in song. The master then sang about the Divine Mother. The black bee of my mind is drawn in sheer delight to the blue lotus feet of Mother Shama's feet. So to assure her, he went out of his way and sang a song. The black bee of my mind is drawn in sheer delight to the blue lotus flower of Mother Shama's feet. So that is the allegory. Then he sang, high in the heaven of the mother's feet, my mind was soaring like a kite. Kite is a bird of prey. When came a gust of man's rough wind, when came a gust of sin's rough wind that drove it swiftly towards the earth. Again, so he has not given the complete song because they have appeared beforehand. What is this song? Third song. આપનાતે આપની થેકો મન જેવો નાકો કરું ઘરે યા ચાબી તાઈ વશે ભાવી ખોજો નિજ અંતઃપુરે પરમાધાન એ પરશમણી યા ચાબી તાઈ દીતે પારે કતમણી પડે আছে আমার চিন্তামণির নাচ দুয়ারে. So, if the Parashamani, philosopher's stone, if you touch any base metal, it becomes gold. So, Thakur is telling, dwell, O mind, within yourself. Enter no other's homes. If you but seek there, you will find all you are searching for. So for searching, you need not travel anywhere and there. Heart is the place. What the true philosopher's stone has advances every place, lies hidden deep within your great, the richest gem of all, God Himself. How many pearls and precious stones are scattered on all sides? The potter came that way before the chamber of your heart. So actually, the heart has to be opened. Okay. So we enter into February 5. Rakhal and Hazara were staying with the master in the temple garden at Dakshineshwar. M. too had been there since the previous Sunday. As it was a weekday, there were only a few devotees in the room. Generally, people gathered there in large numbers on Sundays or holidays. General, huh? It was afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna was telling the devotees about his experiences during the God-intoxicated state for some time. Master to him, oh, what a state I passed through. At that time, I didn't eat my meals there. I did not join the regular Pangat. I would enter the house of a Brahmin in the village and our Baranagar or at Aryada. Different places associated with good people. Generally, it would be your treat the meal time at that time. Huh? I should just sit down there without saying a word. If the members of the household asked me what I want, why I had come, I would simply say, I want something to eat. Now and then I wanted to, I would go, unarmed, of course, to Ram Chatterjee's house at Dakshineshwar. So, wherever I felt the atmosphere will be good, I went there. One day I begged Mathur to take me to Devendra Tiger's house, Ravindranath's father. I said, Devendra chants the name of God. I want to see him. Will you take me there? Mathur Babu was a very proud man. How could one expect him to go to another man's houses uninvited? There is exception to this. At first he hesitated, but then he said, all right, Devendra and I were fellow students. I will take you to him. So he remembered something by which they were equal and said, I will take you there. Another day, I learnt of a good man named Dina Mukherjee living at Bagbazar near the bridge. He was a devotee. I asked Mathur to take me there. Finding me insistent, he took me to Dina's house by carriage. It was a small place. The arrival of a rich man, a big carriage, embarrassed the inmates. We too were embarrassed. That day, Dina's sons, no, Dina Mukherjee was the name of that man. Dina's sons was being invested with the sacred thread. The house was crowded and there was hardly any place for Dina to receive us. They did not properly receive. The house was crowded and there was hardly any place for Dina to receive us. We were almost to enter a side room with someone cried out, we were about to enter a side room when someone cried out, please don't go into that room. There are ladies there. It would really a distressing superstition, saturation. Entering, Mathur Babu and others said to those ladies, I shall never room you again. If due to Thakur is embarrassed, then Thakur does not want to go. He does not assert I am great. It was really a distressing situation. Returning, Mathur Babu said, Father, I shall never listen to you again. I laughed. Oh, what a state I passed through. So one can appreciate these states that will help our spiritual growth. We will know the correct spirituality. Once Kumar Singh gave a left a feast to the sadhus and said, me also. So sadhus in a group are invited, and he knew Thakur to be real sadhu. So he invited Thakur also. I found a great many holy men assembled there. When I sat down for the meal, several sadhus asked me about myself, which sampradaya you belong and all that. What is your guru's name? At once I felt like leaving them and sitting alone. I wondered why they began to eat before they had started. I heard several of them remark, oh, what sort of man is this holy? So they did not follow the custom. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna were talking and the steep steps of his veranda. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna sitting in the steps of his veranda. Hazra, Rakal and M were near him. Hazra had the attitude of a Vedantin. I am he. Master to Hazra. Yes, all one's confusion comes to an end if one only realizes that it is God who has manifested himself as this asleep and the believer, the good and the heart, the real and the unreal. That is, it is he who is present in working and in sleep and other. He is beyond all always. Okay, so here there was a story. There was a farmer to whom an only son is a big Vedantic statement. There was a farmer to whom an only son was born when he was rather advanced in age. As the child grew up, his parents became very fond of him. It's not worldly thing. One day, the farmer was not working in the fields when a neighbor told him that his son was dangerously ill. Wife weeps bitterly when his one but his own eyes remained dry. Sadly, the wife said to her neighbors, such a son has passed away and he hasn't even one tear to shed. After a long while, the farmer asked to his wife, do you know why I am not crying? Last night I had a dream, a king and the father of 7 princes. Those princes were benef- hmm, beneful.
Beautiful.
Huh?
Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. These princes were beautiful as well as virtuous. They grew to stature and acquired wooden and knowing in the various arts. Suddenly I woke up. Now I have been wondering whether I should weary, weep for those 7 children or this one boy. So, world is like a dream. So when she suddenly woke him up, he has lost that dream experience. To the jnanis, the waking state is no means their raw means real than the dream state. God alone is the doer. Everything happens by His will. That is another sentence. Hadra. But it is very difficult to understand that truth. Take the case of the sadhu of Bhukailas. Some sadhu, let us stop here. Only reading will not be of help. Tomorrow we shall read. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiridhitam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.